the moment someone disrespects you. Your body reacts before your mind does. Your jaw tightens. Your chest burns. Your ego screams, "Do something." And right there, in that exact second, is where most people destroy their own power. Let me tell you something they never taught you. The person who reacts first loses, always, because disrespect is not an accident. It's a test, a psychological trap designed to see one thing: can I control you? And if you explode, if you argue, if you defend yourself emotionally, you just answered yes. Most people think power looks loud. Power looks angry. Power looks like dominance. Wrong. Real. Power looks calm, cold, unbothered, untouchable. 500 years ago, Niccolo Machiavelli observed something brutal about human nature. Men lost kingdoms not because they were weak, but because they couldn't control their emotions. One insult, one provocation, one wounded ego, and they rushed into traps that destroyed them. And today, same game, different arena, office, family, social media, relationships, street, everywhere. The person who can control your emotions controls your decisions, and the person who controls your decisions controls your life. Let me be clear. This is not about being soft. This is not about letting people walk over you. This is about understanding that you are playing chess, while most people are playing checkers. When someone provokes you, they are not attacking you. They are measuring you. They are asking, are you impulsive? Are you insecure? Are you easy to manipulate? If you snap, they win, because now they know exactly where your weak spot is. Here's the first dark truth. Anger feels powerful, but anger makes you predictable. When you're angry, your brain shuts down strategy. Your vision narrows. Your words become weapons against yourself. You say things you can't take back. You make moves you can't undo. You reveal insecurities you should have kept hidden. Anger is not power. Anger is a leash, and the person who pulled it is now holding you. Look at real power in the world. It's quiet. It waits. It watches. The most dangerous person in the room is not the loudest one. It's the one who doesn't react, because you don't know what they're thinking. You don't know what they're planning, and uncertainty creates fear. Here's something most people will never understand. When someone insults you, it has nothing to do with you. It's always about them. Every insult is a confession. When someone mocks your ambition, they gave up on theirs. When someone disrespects you, they feel powerless in their own life. When someone provokes you, they want your attention because they have none of their own. There are 3 types of people who try to disrespect you. First, the threatened. Your growth scares them. Second, the attention addict. They would rather be hated than ignored. Third, the wounded. They bleed on anyone near them. None of them deserve your emotional energy. And when you realize this, something changes. You stop reacting, and you start observing. You become a psychologist instead of a victim. This is where real dominance begins, not with shouting, not with fighting, but with control of your face, control of your voice, control of your body language, control of your silence, because silence is a weapon. When someone tries to provoke you and you give them nothing, no anger, no defense, no explanation, you create a psychological vacuum, and humans hate that. They start talking. They start revealing. They start exposing their weakness while you stay still. This is called the mask of indifference. You may feel something inside, but outside, you look calm, and that terrifies people because they can't read you. They can't control you. They can't touch you. And the moment someone realizes they cannot disturb your inner world, they lose interest or they lose power, and both are victories. Let me ask you something honestly. How many times has your anger cost you respect, cost you opportunities, cost you peace? How many times has reacting made things worse instead of better? Power is not in the punch. Power is in the pause between stimulus and response. There is a space, and in that space lives your freedom. Most people never enter that space. They live on autopilot. Trigger, reaction, regret. But the strategic mind lives differently. They feel the emotion, then choose the move. And that is what separates rulers from slaves. In the next part, I will show you how to use silence so effectively that people expose themselves without you saying a word, and how detachment from approval makes you psychologically untouchable. You think silence is weakness. That's what they want you to believe. Because if silence looked powerful, they wouldn't be able to control you with noise. Here's the truth. Silence makes people uncomfortable, and discomfort makes people reveal themselves. Someone throws an insult at you. They expect resistance. They expect emotion. They expect drama. Instead, you look at them and say nothing. 5 seconds. 10 seconds. Watch what happens. They start talking, explaining, justifying, backtracking. Why? Because the human mind hates uncertainty. When you don't react, they don't know if they won or lost. And that fear makes them expose their intentions. This is strategic silence. Not passive. Not weak, calculated. Every word you don't speak is a trap they fall into themselves. This is why the most powerful people talk less and observe more. 500 years ago, Niccolo Machiavelli warned leaders about this exact mistake. He saw rulers destroy themselves by talking too much, by reacting too fast, by revealing too much. The quiet ones survived. The loud ones collapsed. Silence protects you. Every time you speak in anger, you give people ammunition. They twist your words. They quote you. They weaponize your emotions. But silence gives them nothing to attack. They are fighting shadows, and shadows exhaust people. Here's the mini hook you need to hear. The one who breaks the silence is usually the weaker one, because they couldn't hold the tension. They needed relief. They needed validation. But when you sit inside silence comfortably, you project dominance without effort. You are saying without words, I don't need to explain myself to you. I don't need your approval. You don't control my emotions. And that message cuts deeper than any comeback ever could. Asterisk, now let's go deeper. Why does disrespect hurt so much in the first place? Because you still need approval. That's the hidden chain. If someone can provoke you, it means you care about their opinion, boss, partner, family, friends, strangers, online. You want to be seen as worthy. You want to be respected. You want to be validated. And the moment you need validation, you give away power. This is the real prison. Most people live their entire lives performing for an audience. They dress for approval. They speak for approval. They react for approval. And when someone disrespects them, it feels like an attack on their identity. But here's the uncomfortable truth. If your peace depends on other people's opinions, you are not free, you are controlled. Detachment from approval is not arrogance. It is independence. It means your worth comes from inside, not from reactions outside. When someone insults you and you feel nothing, that's not weakness. That's psychological armor, because their words have no hook to grab. Imagine walking into a room where nobody can press your buttons. No ego, no insecurity, no need to prove yourself. That person is dangerous, not loud, not violent, dangerous in control. This is what most people don't realize. The one who needs respect is weaker than the one who doesn't. One who needs to be right is weaker than the one who observes. The one who needs revenge is weaker than the one who waits. And waiting is power, because time exposes everyone. People who provoke others always collapse under their own chaos. You don't need to fight them. You just need to step back and let gravity do its job. This is playing the long game. Asterisk while they burn energy reacting. You build position while they chase arguments. You build reputation while they try to win moments. You win outcomes. Short-term reaction feels good. Long-term strategy changes your life. This is why immediate revenge is a trap. It satisfies emotion, but destroys leverage. The strategic mind waits, watches, collects information, moves when victory is guaranteed. And here's the truth. Nobody likes to hear sometimes the strongest move is doing nothing. Not because you're afraid, but because you're disciplined. Not because you're weak, but because you see further. Power is not about domination. It's about control. Control of your mouth. Control of your face. Control of your impulses. Control of your need to be seen. When you master this, you become unreadable, and unreadable people cannot be manipulated. Asterisk in the next part. I will show you how to master your inner world completely. How to rule your emotions instead of being ruled by them. And how to become mentally untouchable in any environment. Most people think their problem is the world. Bad people, disrespectful people, unfair situations. But the real battlefield is inside you. Because if you cannot control your inner world, the outer world will always control you. This is the secret of true power. Before you dominate a room, you must dominate yourself. 500 years ago, Niccolo Machiavelli understood something most humans still avoid. A man who cannot rule his emotions will never rule his destiny. Your mind is a kingdom, and for most people, it's in chaos. Thoughts run wild. Emotions hijack logic. Impulses make decisions. They are not kings. They are prisoners of their own reactions. Here is the dark truth. Nobody can make you feel anything. They can speak. They can insult. They can provoke, but the emotion comes from you. There is always a gap. Stimulus and response, and inside that gap is your power. Most people skip the gap. They live on instinct. Like animals, trigger, explosion, regret. But the strategic mind enters the gap. They ask, why did that bother me? What insecurity did it touch? Why do I need to defend myself? What am I afraid of losing? These questions are uncomfortable, and that's why most people never ask them. They would rather stay reactive than self-aware. But self-awareness is the beginning of dominance. When you see your own weaknesses, Others cannot use them against you. When you understand your emotional triggers, they lose their power. This is mastering the inner kingdom, not suppressing emotion. Understanding it. Emotion is information, not instruction. Anger tells you something is wrong. Fear tells you something matters. Ego tells you your identity feels threatened. But none of them should drive the car. You feel the emotion. Then you choose the move. That is discipline. That is power. Let me give you a mini hook right here. The person who can pause already won, because while others react, you calculate, and calculation beats chaos. Every single time. This is why the calm person controls the emotional person. This is why the silent person controls the loud one. This is why the patient person defeats the impulsive one. The world is full of emotional fighters. Very few strategic thinkers, and strategy always wins wars. Here's another hard truth. Most of your reactions are not about the present. They are about the past. Old wounds. Old humiliation. Old fear of being small. When someone disrespects you today, it wakes up yesterday, and you fight ghosts instead of reality. That's why self-mastery is essential. You must separate now from then. You must respond to this moment, not your trauma. The man who cannot do this is easy to control. Push his ego. He explodes. Question his worth. He collapses. Threaten his image. He self-destructs. But the mastered mind is different. You see the insult, and it passes through you like wind through steel. No hook. No reaction. No chaos. This is what it means to be centered, to be grounded, to be untouchable from the inside. And once you master this, something dangerous happens. You stop seeking revenge. You stop seeking validation. You stop seeking permission. You start seeking results. You don't argue. You build. You don't shout. You rise. You don't prove. You become. That is psychological dominance. Not through fear, but through composure. Let me ask you something. What would change in your life if nothing could provoke you? If insults meant nothing? If disrespect meant nothing? If opinions meant nothing? You would move freely. Speak boldly. Act strategically. You would be ungovernable. This is why mastering the inner kingdom is the foundation of every form of power. Without it, all tactics fail. With it, everything works. In the next part, I will show you how to play the long game, why patience destroys your enemies, and how waiting becomes your most lethal weapon. Most people want justice now, respect now, revenge now, and that is exactly why they lose. Because power is never rushed. Power is patient. The emotional mind wants relief. The strategic mind wants results. There is a massive difference. Revenge done in anger feels good for 5 minutes and costs you for 5 years. Revenge done with patience ends the game permanently. This is the long game. 500 years ago, Niccolo Machiavelli watched leaders destroy themselves because they could not wait. One insult, one humiliation, and they charged forward blindly, straight into traps. The patient ones won kingdoms. The impulsive ones lost everything. Here is the mini-hook you must understand. Time is a weapon, but only for the disciplined. While others react, you observe while others speak. You gather information while others expose themselves. You build position. Most people fight battles emotionally. You fight wars strategically. Someone disrespects you today. You don't respond with anger. You respond with growth. You sharpen your skills. You strengthen your reputation. You build leverage, because the most terrifying response to disrespect is success. Not words, not threats, not violence, elevation. People who provoke others always collapse under their own behavior. They gossip, they manipulate, they react emotionally. And emotional people make mistakes. Mistakes create evidence. Evidence creates consequences. All you have to do is wait. This is why silence and patience work together. Silence hides your strategy. Patience perfects your timing. And timing is everything. A move made to early looks desperate. A move made to late looks weak. But a move made at the right moment looks inevitable. This is the difference between amateurs and masters. Amateurs want to win arguments. Masters want to win outcomes. Amateurs chase respect. Masters build power. Amateurs fight noise. Masters control reality. Let me give you another hard truth. Sometimes the best revenge is no revenge at all. Not because you are scared, but because you are ahead. When you don't react, you deny them importance, and nothing wounds the ego more than being irrelevant. You become the calm mountain while they are the storm, and storms destroy themselves. Asterisk. This is what it means to play the long game. You stop thinking in hours. You think in months. You stop thinking in days. You think in years. Your enemies are emotional. You are strategic. They burn bridges. You build networks. They talk. You rise. They react. You plan, and slowly, inevitably, you win without ever fighting. Here is the dangerous transformation. When you stop needing immediate revenge, you gain clarity. When you stop reacting emotionally, you gain vision. When you stop chasing validation, you gain authority, and authority does not shout. It does not beg. It does not explain. It simply exists. This is why powerful people look untouchable, because they are not trapped in the moment. They are building the future, and the future always defeats the present. In the next part, I will show you how all of this turns you into someone psychologically untouchable, how emotional mastery becomes your identity, and how you step into true inner and outer power. There comes a moment when you stop fighting the world and start mastering yourself. That is the moment you become untouchable. Not loud, not arrogant, not aggressive, untouchable from the inside. Most people think being untouchable means nobody dares to disrespect you. Wrong, it means disrespect no longer reaches you. Like wind hitting stone, it touches, but it does not move you. This is the final form of power. 500 years ago, Niccolo Machiavelli revealed the ultimate truth. A man who masters himself does not need to dominate others, because the world bends around the stable mind to become untouchable. Something inside you must die. The ego that needs to be right, the pride that needs to be seen, the fear that needs approval, the anger that needs revenge. All of it must go, and what replaces it? Clarity, composure, purpose. You stop reacting. You start choosing. You stop defending. You start building. You start proving. You start becoming. This is what most people never reach. They stay trapped in emotional cycles. Insult, reaction, regret, drama, conflict, exhaustion. But the untouchable person moves differently. They walk into any room with quiet confidence. They don't explain themselves. They don't justify themselves. They don't compete for attention. Their energy says, I am already complete. And people feel it. Some will respect it. Some will fear it. Some will hate it. None of that matters. Because your power no longer depends on their opinion. You have removed the hooks. No buttons to push. No insecurity to exploit. No ego to manipulate. You are psychologically armored. This is not a character you play. It becomes who you are. Every time you choose silence over rage, you build it. Every time you choose patience over revenge, you strengthen it. Every time you choose strategy over impulse, you become it. And one day, you wake up and realize nothing shakes you anymore. Disrespect feels small. Drama feels distant. Chaos feels irrelevant. You are operating on a higher level, where most people react. You observe where most people argue. You advance where most people lose control. You gain control. This is what emotional mastery looks like. Not coldness, not isolation, but inner authority. You become the eye of the storm, calm, clear, unmoved. And that is why truly powerful people never look rushed, never look desperate, never look emotional. They are playing a different game, a long game, a strategic game, a game of outcomes, not moments. Now let me ask you one final question. Who are you choosing to be? The reactive person who gives their power away with every insult, or the strategic mind who turns disrespect into fuel? Because you cannot be both. Every time you feel anger rising, that is your test. Every time someone provokes you, that is your lesson. Every time you want revenge, that is your opportunity to become untouchable. This is not a one-time decision. It is a daily discipline. Master yourself, and the world loses control over you. This is the path of emotional sovereignty. This is the path of psychological power. This is the path of the untouchable. If this video changed the way you see disrespect, hit the like button so this message reaches more minds. Subscribe to this channel if you want to become part of a community that thinks strategically, moves deliberately, and refuses to be controlled. And share this with someone who is constantly reacting, constantly angry, constantly giving their power away. You might save them years of struggle. Remember this: power is quiet, silence is strength, and self-mastery is freedom. Now, go out there and become untouchable.